a monkey in your pants?
Alright then folks, welcome back to another Bad Influence fan commentary. It is Season 3, Episode 12. Awesome sauce. Retro goodness televisuals for your eye holes. What is Bad Influence? Bad Influence was a 1990s magazine computer video game show hosted by Andy Bylin. It's not right. Andy Crane and Violet Berlin. Let's
Hello
go.
from a 3D Bad Influence. In today's show, new software that lets you make your own magic
eyes.
It takes me ages to get into these. If you're the same, you might want to video the show this week because we've got loads more of these pictures.
I always could do magic eyes.
Our main review is Pitfall: The Main Adventure.
You had to sort of go a little bit cockeyed.
And I'll be reporting from the newest and largest cinema screen complex here in New York City.
Ooh.
Now, you've probably seen these magic eye pictures or stereograms.
Not since the 90s.
Everywhere at the moment.
Dolph
Basically, the idea
Lundgren.
is that you look through the picture and focus your eyes in the distance.
That's right.
And then a 3D image should appear in the pattern.
AKA you go cockeyed.
The way it works is that normally when you look at a picture, you focus in on one point. But with a stereogram, you have to look through the picture, and this forces your eyes apart. So your left eye looks at the left-hand side of the picture, your right eye looks at the right-hand side of the picture.
Nobody ever explained how to do it in the
the
90s that I remember. You just sort of
that's why you get a 3D
kept
image.
squinting until you could do it.
Here's the hidden picture. A chess set.
Chess
If you want
set.
some more practice, video the program and you can watch it back later on.
Oh.
And we've also got a few tips
I'm going
to
to do
help
that.
you see the 3D.
Oh, tips,
These
magic eye
stereograms
tips.
on the video wall haven't
That
come
ginger
from a
child
book
was
or a
loving that
poster. They've
handheld.
come from a new software package called Stereo World. It's
What?
available for PC, Amiga and Archimedes. It's got loads of other pictures in
Archimedes.
it, including ones like this. Now, these are much easier. These are called floaters. Now, stand in front of your screen about a metre away. And if you can't get the image by focusing beyond the picture,
I'm
try
trying.
going cross-eyed for a bit. You should eventually see the 3D image appear.
I don't think it's going to
You
work.
also need to be fairly relaxed, so you might do a bit better when you
Certainly
watch this
not the way that
program
this
on
video
video
has been
a bit later on.
presented, recorded in bad
Package
quality
also
from the
comes with
90s,
some
but never
animated
mind.
stereo pictures.
Whoa.
This one's a head which turns from left to right, and this one's a bike which morphs into a car.
Well, we can
and
see
back into
the
a bike again.
bike in the car at
And
least.
there are even some 3D games. This one's called Lunar Lander.
Are you
And you can
shitting
also
me?
annoy your friends by creating your own 3D stereograms. Click on this typeface just to start by building up the image that you want to create. Put a B
Oh,
in
it's
there,
going to write
and
rude words
an A in here,
or just
and
bad.
a D in there. No prizes for guessing what I'm going to spell. There are also some objects that you can use. We'll have an explosion, I think, around about there. Then what about those heads I saw? Yeah,
Heads.
let's put one of those
There,
here,
there, or
and
there.
another one there like that. Now I need to choose a background, and I like this
Any
Indian
sort of
fella here.
random
Now watch very
waffleness.
carefully when I click on this, because you'll see the whole background shuffle to make up my 3D stereogram. There it goes. As it scrolls down the screen, the background shuffles around and creates my own Bad Influence 3D stereogram ready for printing out.
Interesting. Namrud.
Hello, Thurtless. This
What the hell is he painting?
anti-gravity paint. Oh, brilliant, it works.
I thought he was
Thanks for
vandalising
more
some
things later,
piece of
but
retro
first, here's a hot
goodness
tip
hardware.
for Lion King on the Mega Drive. On the options screen, just press right A, B, and start. Then you can turn the cheat mode on by using left and right.
Cheat
and
modes.
select a level. Let's see, Stampede. There we go. This
I was going to say, we don't really have cheat modes nowadays, but is that simply because games are now easy?
Anyway,
And
there we
they're no
go,
longer
Stampede.
required?
And now for another anti-gravity experiment.
Thoughts in the comments, please.
Oh no! I've got some
Paint
on
your
my
head,
fingers.
just your head, Nam, and then tie your feet to the ground.
Yep, I've got it. I can really see it. That's amazing.
Dolph Lundgren there, aka Nipples.
down.
Oops,
Our main review
SNES.
this week is Pitfall: The Main Adventure on the SNES.
The
a
main?
re-release of an old Atari classic.
I used to
This is what
say
it looked like
the
back
Mayan.
in 1982, and the original actually appears as a level in the new game.
I'm not sure who's correct.
Pitfall 1994 style stars Harry Jr., son of the first.
Never
Pitfall
played it,
game.
I'm well aware of
His
it. I
mission
think
is to save
is
his
this a
father
game
who's
that's
been kidnapped by
also
an
on the
evil Mayan
Atari
spirit.
Jaguar, I think.
Here's Sahel.
This game was worth bringing back from the dead.
$59.99, is that how much it costs? Why is it £10 more on the
There's
SNES?
only 8 levels. And many of
Nintendo
them
up to their
look
old
the same.
shenanigans.
The main sprite, Harry Jr., has incredibly fluid movements, and overall, the animation in the game is excellent.
Agreed.
What you have to do here is jump on the crocodile's heads and the lilies to make your way over the river.
Obviously.
The sound's crisp and really adds to the enjoyment of the gameplay. One thing I have to say, though, is that once you've played this bit over and figured out what to do, you just won't want to play it again. It's not really a game you want to keep coming back to.
Oh, okay.
Some of the puzzles in this game are rather tricky. Here I'm trapped in an area, and to escape I have to pull a sequence of levers. That's the first one. Just jump over here. And
Where's
go
the
through
second
here.
one?
Let's find another lever which opens a trap door below. The first time you see this, it's really interesting and poses a challenge, but the second and third time, it's just a bore.
He's
It's
not
got some good
thrilled.
touches, but not enough
3 out of
interesting
5.
gameplay to
I
make it SNES classic.
guesstimate.
The sound is quite outstanding on this game. Gives you a real sense of actually being there.
Indiana Jones, eat your heart out. This is action-packed stuff.
Ooh.
And the scores. Pitfall,
4.
the Mayan Adventure, gets an average 3
Ooh,
from the
I was
boys
right
and a
first
golden
time.
oldie 4
Ooh,
from
and
the
I was
girls.
also right the second time. Magic Sauce, Rise of the Robots, such a crap game.
So, mixed feelings there about Pitfall.
Oh, that's a massive
Now,
telly.
one of the best things about being on Bad Influence is that you get to play games on the big screen.
Oh.
We use what is known as a back projection unit,
Ooh.
which incorporates an
Conveniently,
extra special bright screen.
I just commented on your lovely
and a
telly,
massive
and now you're
projector,
telling me.
Which is kept behind the scenes here. Now, the reason it's so huge is because it houses an ultra big and powerful lamp and an ultra
Crikey.
powerful lens, so you get an extra bright beam, so you get a clear picture. Now, if you fancy one of these set up in your living
Yes,
room,
please.
you better start saving now because
Oh.
it costs an ultra £35,000.
What?
This
No,
one
thank you.
is a lot smaller, and it'll take you considerably less time to save up one of these. It's a home unit costing about £700.
What?
To demo it properly, I need something close.
She's
and
got one of the
bright.
tellies that I want. Bad Influence telly. I want one.
Can you come and stand there a second, please?
Sure,
I've just,
sorry. A lovely
experiment.
home you have, Violet. by the
Thank
way.
you. Turn the lights down. And
Ooh, what's going on
on your
here?
chest. Have a look, and there you go. Pitfall as played on Andy's chest. Thanks, Andy. You're dismissed. I'll call you if I want anything else. All right.
Okay, bye then.
Now, obviously,
Okay.
it's really intended to be projected onto a wall, but it's not so easy for the camera to see it then. You can use it for videos or TV programs. And for all you techies out there, it uses a transparent liquid crystal display and can project a picture of up to 5 feet wide. Now, where's my popcorn?
I guess that it's rubbish quality. I'm just going to put that out
Still in
there.
shop, Violet. Right, from big video screens to gigantic cinema screens. Last month, Z Wright hopped on the Staten Island ferry to downtown Manhattan to check out the latest, largest and loudest cinema in America. At least it will be if they ever get it finished in time.
I want to go there.
Violet, get out of there!
Z Wright, American
Sorry
correspondent.
about that. Z Wright.
And the programme always had educational type informational sections.
New York City and my hometown.
Such as this.
It's a 24-hour city, and no one
It's
here
a
can say there's
24-hour
nowhere
city,
to go.
mate. I was going to say, mate. Like, I put Australian on at the end. I'm sorry. To both Americans
There
and
aren't
Australians.
many more famous streets than this. Broadway in the heart of Manhattan.
Broadway,
The name
wow.
Broadway conjures up all
I
that
wanna
top
go
of
there,
world entertainment
and
here in
there.
New York City.
And there.
And it's here
And
on Broadway
in the
that
telly.
Japanese media giant Sony is putting the finishing touches to a massive new entertainment center, which is opening in November.
Ooh.
The centerpiece of this entertainment honeypot is the IMAX cinema,
Is that
which
a...
seats
Whoa,
over
that's
800
big.
people and will have the latest in sound and picture technology.
This is the smallest professional film format, 16 millimeter, used for some TV
16
programs.
millimeter?
Next up is this, 35
Oh, they're going to show us the giant
used for regular
6 meter
run-of-the-mill
wide
movies. And this
tape for...
is 70
Oh,
millimeter,
it was close.
used for blockbusters like Star Wars and Terminator 2. But it's
Love
still
it.
not big enough to fill a screen 8 stories high. They didn't want to invent a new film size because
didn't
that would
wanna.
be very expensive. Instead, they had a clever idea and turned the 70 millimeter film sideways. But that gave them a problem with the projector.
Is that a
because with
clever
larger
idea?
Film size, the film kept breaking because of the speed of the film and the fact that it stops and starts 24 times a second. The IMAX engineers came up with this monster, the IMAX projector.
It is a monster.
completely different
That
way of
t-shirt is
projecting
huge.
movies, using a rolling
Z right, give your dad his t-shirt back.
The technology was designed in 1967, and since then, IMAX have installed over 100 screens around the world.
Jesus Christ, that's
There's
a
one
big
in
projector.
England, in Bradford. As you might expect, the camera isn't exactly lightweight, but they're not as awkward as they were when they first invented.
Oh, they need cameras, muckle cameras to
Specialty
film the
IMAX
muckle,
camera
muckle.
has 2 lenses spaced
muckle
the same
films.
distance apart as our eyes, which produces 2 similar films.
To get a 3D picture, you need to show each eye a slightly different image.
The
Correct.
films are projected
Said
into
right.
the same place on the screen, but you still need each eye to see the correct picture. This headset picks up a signal from a transmitter and the projector.
Oh my God,
that
he looks like
blackens
somebody out of
each
He-Man or
eyepiece in
something.
turn, so that the right eye sees the right image while the left eye is blacked out.
Some
Then
weird
the left eye
space
sees
goggles.
The left image while the right eye is blacked out, and so on in sync. This bank of CD players sends 6 channels of sound to speakers spread all around the auditorium.
Whoa.
The first 3D film
What
to
happens
be
if
shown
it
here
skips?
will be The Last Buffalo, which tells the story of a newborn buffalo and a cougar on the prowl in their natural environments.
That looks shite. Just saying
The
it.
Rolling Stones film At the Max
That's a
will
bit
be another
better.
of the films to open here. It's not shot in 3D, but Mick Jagger's lips will be over 20 feet wide, decent close-up. Think about that when you're munching your popcorn. This is Z Wright waiting for curtain up
Zed
on
right.
Broadway for
We're
Bad
British here.
Influence.
Zed.
And the news from Z is they did
Zed.
finish the cinema
ZX
on time,
Spectrum.
and it opened last week.
Now for the rest of this week's news and preview.
Lovely. That's where you see what games were coming up.
Loads of letters asking
Back
if
in
Sonic
the
Knuckles
olden
is coming out
days.
with the Game Gear. Well, the answer is no, but this one is. Sonic
Oh.
Triple Trouble is the latest bouncy ring-collecting platformer starring the Blue Hedgehog.
I don't think
You can also play
Sonic
Tails
games
with all these special
look
moves.
good
And Knuckles is in here as
on
one of Dr. Robotnik's
Game
baddies.
Gear. Or I
Should be
could
out this
say
week
Master
on
System,
Game
I
Gear
suppose,
only.
as well.
We've also had lots of letters
Like
And
guns.
phone calls.
and email about these lock-on guns and headsets that we showed you a couple of weeks ago.
Lock-on
now, it seems everybody wants
guns.
them for Christmas, but they're very hard to track down. Well, you could try contacting the manufacturers, Bandai, on 0489.
Somebody phone them, I want them for Christmas.
944,
I'm going to buy
or look
10
out
and then
for
put them on
Toys
eBay
R Us,
and sell them
Hamleys,
for
Harrods,
double the
or
price.
Bentles.
There are 2 ways to become the captain of the Starship Enterprise.
Ooh,
One is to get
tell me.
beamed straight to the bridge of the Starfleet's finest ship.
Okay.
The other is to go through the proper training process on this new SNES simulation, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. You can
SNES
boldly go
game?
next January.
I've never seen or played
Oh,
that.
Furtlers, this anti-gravity
Interesting
paint's getting
indeed.
everywhere. That's better. Right, here's a cheat for
I've said it
Jurassic
before,
Park
but I'd
on the
really
Game
love to know who
On the
came up with the
Dino
idea for
intro
Namrud.
screen, press up,
and who
down,
thought it was a
left,
good
up,
idea.
Down, right, and select, and then do the whole thing again.
They
Up,
could- I think
down,
they could have done a
left,
much
up,
better
down,
way for
right, and select.
cheats
Then start
or
the
hints
game
and tips
press
section.
A, B, start
I
and
don't know
select
what, but
together
surely anything
to
would have been
skip
better
levels
than
at
Mr.
any time.
Doorman.
Hey, brilliant, and now for some more anti-gravity painting. Oh no, I've left the lid off the paint. Aha! Oh, oh.
Interesting.
Now, looking in the pink there. Now, how
Ooh.
does a clothing designer know when a particular
I
fabric
nearly
will
seen her
rise and fall
with a juju.
gracefully? Well, this particular quality is called drapeability, and in the past, they've traditionally had to just feel the fabrics. find
What
out
has this
what's
got to
right,
do
but
with
this
video
one
games?
feels
Somebody
very
tell me.
fluid, and this is in fact a grade 1 fabric. But over here we have a grade 4
Grade
fabric.
4,
It's
that's-
very stiff
that's what
and
we
really
want.
not drapeable at
No,
all.
we don't. We don't
It's
want
really
that.
difficult, but now there's a new way of doing it on a computer.
With the aid of this. The Marilyn Monroe simulation rig, named after a famous scene in one of Marilyn Monroe's movies, as recreated by our own dear Violet Berlin. Inside, not Marilyn,
What?
I'm afraid, but a metal disc and a pole, and at the top of the box,
It's
a camera
just a
looking
fridge.
vertically down on that disc. Now,
With a
to
light
test the
bulb in it and a
drapeability of
pole.
fabric, take a standard
That's all
size
it is.
sample and drape it over the disc, which represents Marilyn's waist, if you like. Close the box, and then the computer takes over. S to start. It can assess the drapeability of a piece
Are
of
you
fabric
shitting me?
simply by the way it hangs over that disc. Now, think
It's a
about
waste
it.
of time.
A grade 1 fabric.
This was
very
somebody's
drapeable,
job to
will
come up
hang
with
over the
this.
disc like this, all of it hanging down the sides.
Bizarre.
And something like this, which would be a grade 4 bit of fabric, doesn't hang over the disc very well at all. It's all stiff.
No, it doesn't,
awkward.
does it?
So what the computer's doing here is measuring the curves,
1 out of
and
5.
the way it folds, and the surface area that you can see. That gives it an estimation of its drapeability as it's static. Next thing we can do
We're gonna
is take a photograph of it moving.
Moving, I knew it was gonna make it moving.
Now, I
Ooh, they
press
spin it.
escape and grab a still
or do
of
they?
the fabric moving, and the first thing the computer does is clear up the flicker on the image, and then takes a second set of measurements. Now, if you imagine when a piece of fabric is spun round, it flares out, and a more drapeable piece of fabric, a grade 1 fabric, will move more than a stiff piece of fabric.
Uh-huh.
So the computer takes 2 sets of measurements and compares the two to work out the drapeability. Easy
Interesting.
to tell the difference between a grade 1
Open
and a grade
bracket,
4
not
fabric.
close
But
bracket.
what about these two? Now, these are very similar. I tested them earlier.
say
on,
one's
and
grade 2 and one's a grade
2 and
4.
One's a grade 3, but
Oh, it's so close.
I can't for the life of me tell the difference. That's where the computer comes into its own. Just about finished taking the measurements now, so my fabric belongs to grade 2. Earlier, Violet was seen in a grade 1 dress. We now show you Violet
I think they
modelling
could
a
have come
grade
up with
4 skirt.
better informational
the
sections.
Monroe machine is only the first part of a research project at
Unless
Stanford
this is leading on to
University,
something
and this is the
awesome,
second stage.
like
They've
space
already
travel.
set to simulate how fabric
Then
falls and
I'll
moves,
let it go.
And the eventual aim is to show how fabric will hang.
It looks like
a
some
virtual
Alone in the
model.
Dark graphics there.
Right, that's quite enough of this close show nonsense. Time for some more games reviews.
The stars of What's Up
Animaniacs.
Doc are now appearing on a console
Da,
near
da,
you.
da, da, da.
Not you, Andy. The real stars, the Animaniacs.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Follow the Warner Brothers and Warner Sister as they make their wacky way.
I've
around
not
the
played this
studio
game actually,
backdrops.
but if it's
Pursued
any like
as ever by the
Buster
security guard who wants to look
Loose,
them up. And who can blame him? Here's Sally with
I'd
the
imagine
SNES
it's
version.
also a good game. 4 out of 5.
I bet you can't play this without
Why are
laughing.
SNES games
There's a real
£10
feeling
more
of
than the
fun
Mega
about
Drive
the game,
counterpart?
and the main
This is
characters are
Nintendo
so
tax.
cute.
People complain about
Once
with the
you pass
Nintendo
first
Switch.
bit, all the other levels are based
They don't
on
realise
film
it's been going on
sets.
since
This is the aquatic
1993
stage.
or whatever
I've
that
left
year
Left
this
Wing
is.
Dot behind because there's not much room on the raft. I'm looking for a film script because it's
I
a
know
very
why.
famous game. But you've got to watch out for Jaws because he pops out.
Jazz. It's
There he
because the
is.
SNES has better sound
If
effects,
you die,
that's
you
why
get a chance
it's
to
worth
play one
more.
of the other characters.
Or something.
Here I'm playing Dot, and she's still looking for the script,
That.
and she's found it.
I might
It's
play this
captured
game.
the quality of the cartoon series, and if you're a fan of the TV program, then you won't be disappointed.
Was anybody a
This is good
fan
fun, but the
of this
puzzles just aren't
program?
challenging enough for
Or
my
was it just a
liking.
case of it was one of the
This
few
game's
things to watch
completely
on a
so. An excellent
Saturday or a
film.
Sunday
It's
morning?
exactly what you'd expect from the Animaniacs.
Scores then. Animaniacs gets a completely
4.
mad. Am I wacky or what? 4 out of 5 from the girls and the boys.
I was correct.
Okay, you have to pick your dream basketball.
What's this?
Who will you have? Shaquille O'Neal, possibly. Magic Johnson, certainly. But
It's the Tiny
Buster
Toons people.
Bunny? Buster and the rest of the Tiny Toons characters are now starring in their very own sports extravaganza on the Mega Drive, which
Oh.
also includes 10-pin bowling, an obstacle course, and
Only
this
on the Mega
football game.
Drive.
Here's Angela.
That explains why I did not know of such a game.
This is my kind of
It is
sports
only on the
game.
Mega
I
Drive.
wouldn't be bothered with a sports sim, but I found this really playable because of all the cartoon characters.
Cartoon
All the
characters.
characters have their special skills.
That was me
like
doing
Dizzy
English.
Devil there spinning around. My favourite team is Dizzy Devil, Babs and Buster Bunny, and Fifi Skunk.
I can't even
There she
remember
goes
the
saving
names,
a goal.
lady.
There's loads of humour in the game. The only drawback is that the characters are really hard to control because of all the action
So,
going
Mega
on.
Drive owners, did you have this game
game's
back in the
definitely
day?
got the fun factor.
I never
If you're
even
into
heard of it.
slapstick humour,
Or
then you'll love this.
seen it in any shops.
This is the height of sadness. If you want
Yep.
a sports game, get NBA Jam or FIFA Soccer. Don't
Yes,
waste your money on
NBA
this.
Jam.
This didn't grab me at all. I mean,
Bulls
why are Tiny
versus
Toons playing
Blazers.
basketball?
Cartoon fans love it, but sports purists are horrified.
Girlies love
Tiny
it,
Toons
boys
Adventure Acme
pump.
All-Stars gets a 4 from the girls,
I say
but a
2.
mean old 2
Yeah,
from
there
the
we go.
boys.
See, boys, we're sensible.
Oh, phew, Furtlers. That was a narrow escape.
Phew,
I
Furtlers.
almost got trapped on the ceiling.
Oh,
It's
no,
taken me
really?
till now to crawl down the walls
If only.
and nail my feet to the floor. I'll just do this last cheat
How has
for
he
you
nailed
and then
his
I'll
feet
try
to
and
the
clean up
floor?
a bit.
Never mind.
It's for Street Fighter 2 Turbo
Oh,
on the SNES.
love it.
It's a
So
handy
many
way of
hours
changing
played
your
playing this
joypad
game.
controls before a match without having to wade through
Oh, listen to
all
that
the
music. The
menus.
game is still
Just
iconic
choose a
and
player
classic.
in the normal way, then press and hold down select until a secret configuration menu appears.
Really?
Letting you change the controls.
Oh.
There you go. Now I'll just see how to clean all this stuff off.
Well, I suppose.
Oh, wait a minute. What's
It's
this? Warning.
not really exciting
The
cheat, though.
anti-gravity effects of Dolox paint wear off in approximately 17 minutes. Oh no.
Haha, haha, not.
And remember, don't try that.
Violet here's epic.
Last week's competition prize
She must have
was
loved
a
Rocky.
PC and a copy of the game Magic Carpet. We asked you, apart from Z, how many people have walked on the moon? The answer is
2.
12, and as you might expect, we had an incredible response.
Did she just say
In
12?
fact, over 40,000
That was
people
close.
rang in, and all their names went into the computerised bad influence bucket. But the lucky winner is Jenny Holmes from Liverpool. Well done, excellent prize.
Jenny
Take one of them,
Holmes, I
it's
bet you
an
were
influence
jizzing your
t-shirt.
pants when you won that,
This week's
Jenny.
competition prize is one of these nifty little Marantz projectors, which you can also use to show TV programs.
I
and
think
videos
that
as
looks
well as
rubbish, that
computer games.
projector
The
does.
question is, which city has the only IMAX cinema in Britain?
Oh,
Which
oh,
city
oh.
has the only IMAX cinema in Britain? If you know,
I'm
going
gonna
to
say-
0891 555 999. The call will cost you no more than
Sheffield.
25p. Lines will stay up until midnight.
I
on
don't know
Monday,
why I said
but
that.
do please
Birmingham,
get permission
Leeds,
from whoever pays the phone
Manchester,
bill before you dial,
Liverpool.
because
Not
we always
Liverpool,
say
I know.
you can't win if you don't get permission,
London's
and
too
we always
obvious.
check. Right, that's it for this week.
I
Hope you
give up.
enjoyed the programme. Next week, amongst other things,
That's
we look
it.
at the latest add-on for the Mega
That
Drive,
was
the
quick.
32X.
32X.
And review one of the games for it, Star Wars Arcade.
One of
Here's
those
Steve for
bad
you
decisions
credits.
by
See you next
Sega.
week. Bye-bye.
There you go then, folks. That is Bad Influence. Good old classic retro goodness for your eyes and ears. Series 3, Episode 12. It's what it is. As always though, from me, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you next time.
Do you have a monkey in your pants?